Hi, welcome to this Photoshop CS4 tutorial, my third one. Right, I'm going to do a little tutorial on a new 3D capability within this program and animate something 3D. Now, some of you might have seen a tutorial I've done a while ago on creating a spinning globe, and it weren't totally my idea. I did get some of the ideas and techniques from someone else, and I threw in a few of my own parts. And anyway, we created this spinning globe with the use of smart objects and animation and that. Well, now with CS4 it is so much easier. So let's go ahead and do it. Now, with the new 3D abilities in CS4, there's loads of things to consider. I mean, take for instance this 3D palette. Well, you won't see nothing at the moment because I haven't applied any 3D to this thing. We'll have a look at that later, actually. And I don't know it all myself as it is, so I'll show you as I find out myself. Let's put this back on there. Okay, first thing we do is we're gonna press Ctrl J to duplicate this. We'll turn off this background layer, and then we're going to come up here to the menus, and we're going to come onto 3D and choose a new shape from the 3D layer. And you've got all these different shapes that you can wrap your image around or even in. You've got the spherical panorama, and you can wrap an object, an image within that panorama, and you can walk through an image. That's what it looks like. Quite clever. But on this one we're going to choose sphere because we want to make this round. And there we go. Now we've got it as a globe. So let me scroll in a little bit on it so you can see it more clearly. There's fine. Now, before we got to this stage, through the use of smart objects and applying a filter within a smart object, the distort filter, this way it was go to the menu, choose your shape, simple as that. Okay, so let's animate this. So come up to your window as per normal and get your animation timeline palette out, and I think I'm just going to move this up so it's nice and clear. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, now you can see that the 3D layer is layer 1. Okay, so what we do is we scroll down a little squirrely, and you can see now that we're actually in 3D. We've got all these extra options: 3D object position, 3D camera position, render settings, and cross settings. I haven't explored all these fully, so I'm not going to go into them, but the camera position is basically now in CS4 you actually get different camera views, and you can move your camera around an object, move the object around the camera. Kind of works like that. When I know more, I'll let you know, of course. Okay, the 3D object position, that's what we want to use. We don't want to use normal position. We want to use 3D object position. Now, this is, if you ever tried to spin something in CS3, you'll know how hard that can be, and this makes it so much easier because it doesn't actually have to move from the spot. This 3D object position will because it's actually in 3D, you've got an X, a Y, and a Z value. It recognizes when it's spinning spinning on its axis. Okay, that's what 3D is all about. So what we're going to do is come over to the toolbar, and you have to use this tool here, and it is the 3D rotate tool. And you've got the other ones which I'm sure we'll use in further tutorials, or you can experiment yourself. Okay, and you'll see that the little cursor's changed to that sort of spinning globe kind of cursor. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set down a keyframe now. Remember where this position is, and we can either come up here and use these controls and change the X, Y, or Z values. So you could put in 360, do a 360 turn. I'm just going to use this, and I know that we stopped on Africa. We started on whoops, let me put it back onto Africa. Okay, first thing we want to do is move the time controller forward. So I'm going to move it to 3 seconds. I'll also bring down my work area. Okay, and now I'm going to use this 3D rotate tool to spin this globe back round until I see Africa again. I hope that's Africa. My geography is not that good, and I'm sure you'll let me know if I'm wrong. Now it is a bit slow because CS4 uses a huge amount of memory to do all this stuff, and I really need to install some more. So that's about where we were. I mean, you can get it more perfect yourself, probably easier. Okay, so didn't mean to do that. Let's open up this and let's press play. And as you can see, it's spinning. Now at the moment it's not rendering from memory, it's just rendering basically. When that line goes fully green, it will render from memory and spin a lot faster. But you can see it spinning there. You can see it doing exactly what we want it to do. Now I'm sure I press stop there. There we go. So I'm sure you'll know how to do this next bit, but we'll do it anyway. Hold down Alt, double click on that padlock to unlock it and turn it on. And then we're going to press Control Delete to fill that background with the background color, which is black. Come down to filter, and then we'll go noise, add some noise, maybe around about 60%, uniform, monochromatic, click OK, and then I think I'll use an adjustment layer just for the fun of it, because they're new and they're right here. Well, adjustment layers ain't new, but window is, and I talked about it in my interface tutorial, the one before this one. So, and I'm going to clip it with this layer. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and I'm going to come on to levels like that, and it's going to ask me if I want to clip it. Well, make a clipping mask, same thing. I'm going to click OK, and it's going to give me the levels control, and I'm just going to bring in the blacks and then bring out the whites to give a starry background. That's it done. I'm going to press play to preview the animation, and that's it. How easy was that, and how cool was that? Excellent. So a lot more 3D tutorials to come from me as I learn. So thanks for watching.